then it'll connect us over. Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 8. I can't believe we are on day 8 of the 21-day Mend Your Self-Wealth Facebook Live Summit. I'm your host, Dr. Jenna Zellars, where I've been interviewing amazing women, and just saying that word gives me goosebumps. Amazing women over the next 21 days who have stories to share, tips to give, and inspiration that we can all glean from. So we have Miss Erin Abbott here today. She has a wonderful bio. I'm going to let her take the stage and share with you who she is, what she's here to share, and she just has a great gift for bringing women together. Her friends, I meet people all the time that know Erin, and they say Erin is an inspiration, and it's very true. So Erin, welcome to the show today.
Well, thanks, Dr. Jenna. I want you to know, like, whenever I speak with you or hang out with you in person, I have to be in like Dr. Jenna mode where, like, I'm writing my bio, you asked for it, and I'm like, but why did I become an audiologist, or why did I train for that? And there's always something new popping up as to peeling back the layers of, like, why do we choose these paths? And sometimes it's based upon some things in our childhood, and then, you know, for example, I have my training in audiology, which is the hearing system, the hearing and balance system. And as I sit here and talk, I'm like, why did I choose audiology? Well, I thought I chose it because I have a history of severe neural hearing loss in my family. So I thought, well, if I'm going to have hearing loss, I may as well know what's going on, right? Mm-hmm. But as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I think what it was is I was advocating for my mother, or advocating for the vulnerable, or people who needed someone to speak up for them, someone to hear for them even. And so looking back at that, it was like, oh, but so over the course of the years, I think I've chosen pathways that have been tending to that advocacy, but even now I'm just not realizing what that means exactly. So I became an audiologist, but before that I actually traveled and lived in China for a while and taught English there. And that was quite the year. And I'm still learning from that one single year of experience as a young adult, out in the middle of a place where I couldn't speak their language, and I didn't know their customs, and I didn't know anybody. So it was a challenging year for sure. And then from there, I applied for graduate school, got my doctorate in audiology, which again is learning about the hearing system and balance.
Wow, I didn't know all that.
Yeah. And then during graduate school, I got married, and then we had a baby and finished that up and moved to Texas. And here I am now. And after working for a couple of years in an office where I was called Dr. Abbott, which no longer happens, it's kind of sad. I quit because I needed to stay home with my kids because the daycare situation was rather poor quality. And so we were like, well, this isn't working out for us. So, and in the middle of that, I also used to teach jazzercise. I know you guys probably know what jazzercise is. It's just a great, like, dance aerobics program. It's super fun. But I taught that for about 10 years, which was for me a long time. And after resigning from that and having the kids, I just really needed something that was going to just be for me still yet. I still needed that Erin part of it all.
Yes, because you have 4 kids, right?
I have 4 kids. Yes, 4 kids. And they're still young. And so, but I still needed to, you know, something for me, just for me, something cool for helping me go a lot deeper. That was a lot that went on in that decade. And so, yeah, but I think I have like post-traumatic stress disorder from everything that was going on. And now I'm to the point where I'm getting a little more relaxed, and I'm like, oh, there are some issues to address here. You know, there are issues all the way back to when I was 5 that need to be talked about. And which then explain a lot of things about my decisions and my emotions. And so with that, I became a Noonday Collection ambassador, not that was also going to be a tool for unraveling just the history of Erin, essentially. And
Yeah.
so it's a small business, yes, but I really see it as a tool for development, essentially. So that's
Right.
where I'm at today.
I love it. And I love how all of this ties together, because I'm actually inviting a lot of women on who are in direct sales, and what I think is the common theme with so many direct sales companies, and I love direct sales, um, is the common theme is that, like, if you want to rank advance and you want to build a team under you, I mean, that's essentially how you build your business. Is it takes, like, the more you want to get to that next rank, the more you have to actually develop personally, like your mindset, aligning your heart with your mindset, and it takes a lot of work. Like you can't, like, it's not just luck, it's not just like how many people you know, it's like, how can I lead a team, how can I grow personally, how can I make sure I'm making better habits. And so yeah, and you're perfect because you're part of the my coaching group, the Authentic Driving Women Doing Life, Love, and Business. And it's for that very reason, is I coach women who are constantly trying to level up in their life and business. Because once you get to one level, it's like, okay, now it's time to the next level and the next. And that's what I'm doing in my own life. And if I wasn't doing that, I would certainly not be here leading this event today.
Yeah.
So I love that you're a Noonday. I love that you're growing personally. I love that you've come from, like, your education, you were a doctor, you had your own practice, and then, like, okay, you had to close that chapter, but you didn't want to lose on making an impact in others' lives. You didn't want to lose on, like, having your own identity. You didn't want to just be a mom and stay at home with kids. You knew that you had to do something else to give back. And so tell us a little bit about Noonday, what it is, and how it, and I'm getting goosebumps again just talking about it, how it actually impacts the world.
So Noonday Collection is a multi-level marketing company, essentially. And but what's unique about it is that we do partnerships with different artisan groups from across the globe. So for example, in Antigua in Guatemala, we partner with two different artisan groups, which are owned by two different women there, Angelica and Anna. And these are two women, strong women influencers in their community, and they're committed to making their community better and flourish in educational programs, and making sure that women in that community feel valued through their employment, which is actually dignified employment that is consistent and helps them take care of themselves and their family and their extended family. So, I mean, to the root, we are those people. We are equal partner leadership people. We care about, the child of the artisan working in the workshop in Haiti. We want to know. And so we do know, and we make it a point to know. So we help create good business, because we really do believe that the way we can make the world flourish overall is to do good business. And that's what we're doing right now. And so that's Noonday, kind of, but yeah.
Love it. And while you're talking, I actually just looked down and I have my first pair of Noonday earrings that I have been waiting to put on. So I'm going to put them on right now and totally sport them. I love jewelry, by the way. And I started making jewelry.
I know. Those are the sea change earrings.
They're so pretty.
Love those. I feel like you can make those to yourself, Jenna.
I could make these. I could.
Yes, you could.
Someone else make them for me, which is always more special. I'm gonna wear my baby collections. They are beautiful.
I love it.
Those are what I have on, and it's so perfect that they were sitting right here on my desk. So tell me a little bit about, like, what went on behind the scenes of getting these into my hands.
So what happens is we collaborate with these artisan workshops. Those earrings in particular are from a workshop in India. And that's a workshop that works with blown glass, which is they hand blew all that glass that's hanging in. So that's glass that you've got on.
Yeah.
And so we give them a style board and a color board for the season, and we go over, these are the styles and trends that will sell well in a Western market. And so they come up with style and design things. So do we, collaborate back and forth. It could be a visit, or it could be just via email or something. Create drafts, of things that they can create, and then come up with a prototype. And then Noonday Collection receives the prototype, decides if it should be in a line coming up, or maybe in a few years down the line. Even we'll keep prototypes for that long and put them in the line there. And then once the prototype's decided upon, we'll place an order for the projected sales of, for example, earrings that you're wearing, whatever we had this year, we'll project for the next year and place an order. We pay our artisan groups up front 50%. That way they can purchase supplies with we give them, and not have them like, okay, I got this order, but I have no way to pay for the glass that I need to source for this. So we'll pay them upfront for that, and they'll create the product. And upon arrival and inspection, we'll then of course pay them for the rest of that. And so payment is worked out between each other. We're a fair trade company. I don't know if anybody knows what fair trade certified means.
That's what it is, yeah.
It's got about 9 points, which I don't have them all memorized, but rest assured they're all paid above average pay level in their country. So all that's determined per artisan workshop leader. So the owner of that workshop determines that.
And just to give everyone an idea of the opposite of fair trade, it's more of like your sweatshops, right? Like,
yeah, be more of a factory setting sweatshop vision. A lot of factories they're not necessarily dangerous like you would think of a sweatshop, but they also, it's not a relationship. We value our people and relationships. So we've given them the knowledge they need to know with a style and color board. So what can they do with that? They can actually make something themselves and create with other partners in business. So they don't exclusively design and make for Noonday Collection. They have a whole business of their own that they run and partner with people from all over the world. So this is not
one of their partners happens to be Noonday.
Yes, like Noonday Elm actually share partnerships. So West Elm yes.
Noonday and who?
West Elm.
West Elm. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I've actually visited the workshop in Lima, Peru, where West Elm has some of their pieces made, and so does Noonday Collection. So it was really neat to see this flourishing like artisan leadership. And they are like, yep, we make for West Elm. They also make for Restoration Hardware. That's another one. Okay. So that says a lot about how good they are at what they do.
Yeah. I love it. And so just paint us a little picture of what maybe the women who are, and are they all women, or there might even be men? There might be men.
Wow.
So paint us a picture of maybe what their life looked like before the partnership with West Elm or Noonday. Like what type of living environments could they have been exposed to had it not been for this opportunity?
Yeah, I think a lot of it just has a lot to do with the inability to have opportunity. And with that, you don't get a lot of work, or even you don't have dignified work that you take pride in. And so our work body, like, really consistent with work. It could vary with men. Occasional work in some places don't have a stable job. For women, I feel like it's a little bit worse in the sense that they take care of the children, generally speaking. And so it's an impact on both the women with the children. And so if you can employ a woman, you can employ, you're caring for the entire family, not just her. So for living conditions, it can be anything from I'm having trouble getting food on the table for every meal to I don't know what to do with my kids when I'm at work because I don't have a daycare or an older family member to take care for them. Or like it can be I'm living out of my car, although some people are educated. Like one of our artisan partners in Uganda, she has a master's degree and so does her husband. But there was no work for them. There was no opportunity for work. They were living out of their vehicle with the hope that they would find something. And this is how actually that's how Noonday started. They're our very first artisan partners. And there are hundreds of stories about something along those lines about how that happens.
So by me purchasing these earrings and continuing to purchase earrings through Noonday, I'm actually helping women and men and families in other countries have more opportunity and put food on the table. And I'm not only helping them, I'm also helping you with your mission and your purpose
Yes.
and extra stuff for the kid, for your kids.
Yes. Yes. So some of the Noonday ambassadors, they use their small business to pay for the grocery bill, essentially. I'm in a blessed spot where I don't necessarily have to do that. So I get to give away a lot of my money, which is what I do. Or I simply reinvest to other things like gathering women for fun things like workshops or whatnot, which I truly enjoy.
Yes, tell us a little bit about that, because that was something I put in our Facebook introduction, is that you just have this knack for bringing women together and having inspirational events. So tell us a little bit about like what started all of that and what some of your events look like.
So I have historically gathered women for sort of creative workshops or intentional workshops. For example, one that I have coming up next month is like a make a purchase, make a pumpkin. So it's going to be a little pumpkin with a succulents. The succulents will do a workshop on how to do that on top of your pumpkin. Is make a cute little piece or decorative item for the fall. Another workshop I'm hosting this fall is the Enneagram workshop. I'm going to do one in my home. I'm a little bit into kind of the personality typing of that and using it as a tool once again to think a little bit deeper about myself introspectively and how I relate to the world. So of course, selfishly, I want to do a workshop. Honestly, I feel like the workshops are a little bit selfish for me because I enjoy them so much that I'm like, let's just do something fun. So we've done style workshops where I've had a stylist come in. I've done a workshop where a local photographer came in and talked about how to style your family for a fall photo and how to coordinate those things. I've done a weaving workshop with a local weaver. Different things that I personally enjoy and I'm passionate about that make me happy. So
as soon as this video airs, you're probably gonna have to start being more picky about your friends, because everybody's gonna like have a line out your front door because everybody's gonna want to go to your events.
That's always, I don't mind the line. I really enjoy it. And then really the women are the ones who bring the dynamic of the party to the party. Because we can make pumpkins all day, but if we don't have the women here who are willing to gather and share their hearts a little bit and just get dirty, either literally or hypothetically, then it's not much of a party. So I really have to give all that credit to the women in my life and over the years who continue to show up and be real, essentially. So
awesome. And speaking about showing up and being real and doing the work, dirty or not, you have a book in the background, and I feel like it ties in to everything that we're talking about. And I'd love for you to just tell us a little bit about that and how you're using that as another way of bringing women together.
Yeah, so this will be backwards, I think, but maybe you can figure it out.
No, it's actually, well, hold it up again. Hold it up again. Hold it up again. Oh, you're frozen. Wait, I think it's showing up fine. Yeah, it's showing up right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's a book that the founder of Noonday Collection wrote. And she really wrote it just to let women hear her story about how she went ahead and did things even though she was scared. Just don't wait for the courage to show up. It probably never will. Maybe at some point, but over time, the more scared you go, I guess the more courageous you're going to become. And so her point was, whatever it is in your life, that thing in the back of your head, or that gnawing that you've had, or that thing that makes you go, oh yeah, that'd be great, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and get started. Because just sitting around, whatever you're doing to bide your time, is only biding time. It's not really doing anything for you. It's not doing anything for the world. So she's basically like, get up and go do your thing. And so how she got up and did, essentially, and how that was like a snowball effect to, for example, me sitting here, or other women doing other things that they didn't really think that they were capable of doing, essentially.
I think this message keeps repeating itself because of the women I'm bringing on. They've done that. They've taken that scary step, or they listened to a cue within and something that was gnawing on their heart, like do this, and they did it, and that just created so much joy. Or they had like a deep frustration. It wasn't until they, instead of ignoring it, they decided to listen within and figure out what those cues were. And that's something that we talk about too in the one day event that's coming up. You went to the one day event in May. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how coaching, accountability, and learning the right tools has helped you move forward in the direction of your dreams?
So I went to Dr. Jenna's one day event back in May, and I really didn't know what to expect for the day, but it was definitely a soul opener, essentially. Just kind of like, I think a lot of times we have stopping us and we have no idea what they are, but we know that they're there. And so that workshop in particular was good for me to go, you know what? I know that you've been going, but you really can't go any further than this until you've addressed and figured out what stopped you to this point, essentially. And so the workshop is actually, again, a tool, an internal tool to help you identify those things, which for me, I would call like red flags and like my behavior, or the way I respond to somebody, or the way I've always thought, or a lie that I've been believing my whole life, which makes me act a certain way. And those are the things that were stopping me. And that workshop actually pinpointed those things. And Dr. Jenna is phenomenal with her questions about opening you up and just going, and you don't give answers. You don't give answers. You provide the questions that lead us to our own answers. The answers are there. You just help us, you reveal them to us, essentially.
Yeah. So it's more of like guiding you to find them, because without that guidance, it's hard for us to see. We have blinders on. We're full of like all the stuff that gets in the way of us actually seeing our potential. One of my gifts, and I love using it, is that I see people's potential. And so like, I want to help you see the same thing that I see. And I do that by like taking off the blinders and like narrowing in on what exactly you need to know and see yourself and experience. I think, didn't you think that like you can go to some events and like by Monday or the next Friday, you've kind of forgotten what you were there for, what you learned. Definitely. But when you go somewhere and you actually have a shift of experience, you won't ever be the same because you felt different, like you experienced something different, and you can't unlearn that. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I feel like when you've, like your workshop, for example, going to that, and then when you see yourself incorporating that into every part of your life, you know that was a paradigm shift in your mental status. You know that it was like an awakening, or an alarm just went off, or just, a revelation, whatever you want to call it. It was that. And you know that when you're kind of going day to day and you're remembering it every single day, you know that it was a good day that you had, essentially.
You start shedding old stuff that was holding you back and keeping you complacent and all of that.
Yes.
Awesome. What have you noticed in the last 4 months since May of just some simple shifts that you feel up for sharing that either impacted you personally or on a business standpoint? What are some shifts that you've noticed since you've kind of taken those blinders off and taken steps forward in the direction of your dreams?
So personal level at the workshop, I revealed to myself and you guys that I feel like I wasn't valuing myself. I've never, I didn't feel like my input was valuable. I wasn't valuable. And so I started to watch, to view my behavior, say, in what relationships am I doing this to myself? And then in turn, putting that belief on my husband or other people, my friends, or even my children. And so that's been a really way for me um, to figure out like where this is actually my fault and not their fault, because I really thought that they were thinking this about me, but they weren't. And so I made up this entire story. And so I'm identifying untruths, which are stories that I've made up about other people or myself that aren't true, which is very helpful, taking credit that I'm responsible for, but then I'm also giving myself a lot of grace. And um, so my husband and I are actually going to counseling, not because, we're horrible or anything, but because I'm like, neither of us are happy with what's going on right here. And I'm like, we're going to go because we're going to dig deep and dissect this. And I'm going to figure out what I'm doing and you're going to figure out what you're doing. And we're talking about it, and it's working. It's working.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
I love it. And it's like, that's the thing is that's, I mean, it's everything I teach about mend yourself well. It's like, don't wait until that, and don't wait until it's horrible. Don't wait until there's a problem. Like, mend yourself well is like a daily invitation to do the right thing, to help your future, to help your mindset, to help your health, to help your body, to help your relationships, your finances, all of that. And you're doing it. You're being very intentional about your marriage. You're being very intentional about raising your healthy, happy kids. And this ties right back in. It's like how you do one thing is how you do everything. You're also like, you're teaching people how to make intentional purchases, because it's through those intentions that we set of like, oh, I could go to Walmart or Charmin Charlie's or Macy's and I can buy jewelry, or I can go to Erin and have her help me buy jewelry, because that will make a better impact on the world. That will create more opportunities. It's not just going to go to some CEO's bank account. It's actually going to help put food on the table for multiple families.
Right. Very true. And I love intentional purchasing, because I had the thought, if I'm going to intentionally make purchases, then I need to intentionally do everything else that I can. I can't, onslaught do everything all at once, but I can intentionally, think my relationship with my husband and consider that and do that well. Or I can intentionally think about what I'm eating for the day and plan ahead for that. Or I can intentionally spending my time where I'm wasting my time. Just things like that, where you're like, intentionally purchasing is just one of those layers that that I'm working.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. So, so you are, as you grow personally, you're also growing your business, you're growing your team. I can't imagine what it might be like. What can people expect being on your team? I'm just imagining like unending support and accountability and fun events. Like, what does it look like for someone who's maybe looking for that side income, who wants to have an impact in the world, who loves jewelry? What does it look like to join your team?
Well, I'm super low key, believe it or not. I do offer support. I do text my sweet team members and friends, and we just had a photo shoot a couple weeks ago at the Lumen Room in Dallas, and that was super fun. And that's always a great way to connect, and we'll do events together. But I mean, it's mostly just kind of like, how can I support you this week? What's going on in your life? And then it's a way to kind of go, you know what? Just let me know how I can be here for you. And it doesn't have to be in a businessy way. It can be like in a personal way.
Yeah.
And so that can be a phone call or mail you something, or do you have time to have lunch or something like that. Because again, it's really about the relationships and, you know, changing the world and using our Western status to change the world, which is definitely a gift. But then there's also that relationship aspect that's really become the most important of growing a team, I found.
Yeah, I think like the minute anyone would meet you would know that like you're so not in it for the quota, or you're not in it to get to the next rank. You are in it not only to give back to the world, but you literally want to bring more women in your circle and love on them and help them grow and help them find happiness and help them beautify their home and beautify their body. Like you're just so heart-centered, and anyone that meets you I know can just tell how much you're full of connection, and that's really what you crave and
Well, and
want to.
like you, Dr. Jenna, I love to see women flourish as well. I love to see them um, be passionate, live life to the fullest, you know, just really love what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so I think I share that commonality with you, that I love to watch from. So if there's any way that I can help them with that, I'm gonna.
Well, you're doing that today by being our guest today. So thank you so much for your time today. Is there anything you want to add? We'll put all your links on how they can connect with you, how our audience can connect with you down below. Is there anything else that you want to add today before we wrap up?
Well, I think I've said most of it. And we'll post some of it down below. I do have these bracelets that will be for the winner. I don't know if you can see them well. Can you see them?
Yeah. They have
Here's
some
two bracelets.
tassels.
Yes, tassel bracelets are made in India, and I visited India a couple years ago and just know the importance of work as an artisan in India. And so I'm super proud to send these to the winner. I guess you're going to draw their name like tomorrow or the day after or something.
So you're
Okay.
going to help me pick a winner. The winner today gets what I announced that I would give away yesterday. So I'm giving away, I have and you're part of my coaching group. So I've created a 90-day blueprint to your most authentic life. One of my issues when I hit rock bottom in the happiness of my life is that I didn't know what it meant to be authentic. And so going on this journey, I found that and what it looks like and how to find it. So now I love teaching that to other women. And so the one lucky winner gets access to my virtual program of the authentic life. So you're going to help me pick a number. Find my chart here. Do not pick the number 22 because I haven't updated my list, but pick a number between 2 and 83.
Oh, okay. We've got a group. Okay, what about the number 57? That was just.
You picked a big number. All right. Miss Penny Cox gets access to my authentic blueprint. So we'll give it to her. She was referred to the group by Sequita. So if either of you are listening, congratulations. And then you are going to give away one of your bracelets, correct?
Both of them. They'll come in.
Yeah. So we will announce the winner for the bracelets on tomorrow's interview, and we'll connect the two of you. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we will connect. I'll see you next Saturday at the one-day event.
I'm very excited too.
And for anyone watching who's curious about the one-day event, I'll let you know. I'll post the link for that as well as in the comments. I just redid the agenda and the program.
Yeah.
Erin, it's all brand new. Like,
oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Jamie had asked last time. She's like, "Are you going to teach the same thing?" I was like, "I have no idea." Like in May, I had no idea. But I've gone through so much in the last 4 months that like 85% of the material is brand new.
I'm super pumped.
Yeah. Wait. It's going to be great. All right. Well, I will see you there. Have a great rest of your day.